Hi guys, it is Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing and I'm here with a book haul. So I have accumulated quite a number of books in the last couple of months. It's so wet now. So I want to show you all the books that I got recently, so I just have this ginormous book haul to show you. So obviously this will probably be the last book haul of the year. I don't really do that much book hauls anyway, so that's okay with me. Get on with it and show you everything that I got. So the first few books I have here are books I all got from the Book Depository in one order, because I had basically just gotten some good news and I decided to do a very rare kind of big Book Depository shop, because I don't normally buy a lot of stuff from Book Depository, only a couple of times a year, and I normally only get maybe one or two things, but I decided that I was just going to go a little bit wild and fill up my basket and get some things that I've been really wanting to buy for a while, and all of these are all from either, some of them are books I've read before but I wanted to get my own copy of, other ones are all from my favourite authors, so yeah, I wanted to show you all of them that I got. So the first one here is Riders by Veronica Rossi. What are you eating? What are you eating? The first book here is Riders by Veronica Rossi. Veronica Rossi wrote the Under the Never Sky trilogy, which is one of my all-time favourite trilogies. I just absolutely adore that book, and I've wanted to read her new book, which is Riders, for a very long time. This has been out a couple of years, and I just never got around to buying it. It was always in hardback, and I prefer paperback books, and this is a very lovely floppy paperback as well, as you can see, and it is a beautiful cover of a horse on fire, which I adore. So yeah, I've heard like pretty good things about this, but not a whole lot of things. I don't know a whole lot of people who have read it, so I am looking forward to reading it and seeing what it's all about. Next book here is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams, and Jen Williams wrote another high fantasy trilogy which I loved, which was the Copper Promise trilogy, and I absolutely loved that. I think I read the last book of that last year. I think this is her new book, and I actually don't know really what this is about. I just knew she had a new book coming out and that I wanted to get it because I loved her last trilogy. So yeah, I will let you know what this is about when I actually read it, but I knew I just needed to get it. And another book I have is a hardback, but I don't mind because it's one of my all-time favourite authors, and that is In Other Lands by Sarah Rees Brennan. And if any of you guys have been on my channel for a while, you know I adore all of Sarah Rees Brennan's books, and she's Irish as well, which is just a very lovely plus. And I love this cover as well. It's really, really nice. Another book I got in that Book Depository haul was actually the Selection colouring book. As you guys know, I'm an absolute trash for the Selection. I love it so much, even though, as a lot of people have said, it's not like the best writing in the world, but it is just so entertaining. I love the Selection trilogy. I really love The Heir. I pretend the crown doesn't exist, but yeah. So this is basically what it says in the tin. It's like there's not a whole lot of pages in this, but it is the Selection colouring book, and it has some really nice pictures. As you can see here, this is one that I filled out, so that is Aspen and America. And then you have ones, it kind of alternates between like the quotes and then a picture and then another quote, which that one says, "True love is usually the most inconvenient kind." I actually really love the colour scheme I got going on in this one. And then I'm like halfway through this, I just haven't finished it yet. But yeah, so this goes through all, like this has the Selection, the Heir, the One, no, the Selection, the Elite, the One, the Heir, the Crown. So it has all of them in it. The last few books I got in the Book Depository haul are all books I read before, books I've raved about many a time on this channel, and I just need my own copies. That is the Faithful and the Fallen series. So we have Malice, Wrath, Ruin and Valour, and yeah, I don't really have to say anything about this because I just love the series. I'll probably be rereading them next year, so yeah, just be prepared to see them a lot on my channel, even more than you already have so far. So I'm just so glad to have my own copies. Next couple of books are all books I got in the bookstore on one trip. And again, I don't normally buy a whole load of books in the bookstore, but this time I went in, there was one particular book where I'd been debating whether to get it or not, I decided to get it, and then there was a buy one get one half price deal. The first book that I got is one that everyone has seen quite a lot in the last month, and that is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I just couldn't quite resist getting my own copy of this. I do have a lot of other John Green books on my bookshelf, so I was like, why not just go and get this one? And I've heard really great things about it, so I am very eager to read this soon, and yeah, looking forward to it. And the next two books are the buy one get one half price ones. So the first one was Tangleweed and Brine by Deirdre Sullivan, and this is a reimagining of fairy tales, I think told in a slightly feminist retelling. I think. Yes, it's bewitched retellings of classic fairy tales with brave and resilient heroines. Tales of blood and intrigue, betrayal and enchantment from a leading Irish YA author, not for the faint-hearted or damsels in distress. And that just sounds perfect. This one is a book from a favourite author of mine. It is The Scandal by Fredrik Backman, which this one is actually called Beartown in the US. And I don't know why it was changed for the UK and Europe, I guess. But yeah, I love Fredrik Backman's writing, so I will literally buy and read anything he writes now because I have loved pretty much every other thing that I've read by him. So this is about a town called Beartown, and I think it's like a very sleepy town, but then it's kind of starting to revive a little bit, I think, you know, starting to prosper, and then it is all put in jeopardy by a single brutal act one day, and it divides the town into those who think it should be hushed up and forgotten and those who will risk the future to see justice done. So I'm looking forward to that. It sounds a little bit more serious than what Fredrik Backman normally writes, but I'm presuming it will have his lovely twist on things, and just his lovely way of writing. That is why he's one of my favourite authors. The next two books here are books I got from publishers recently. Both of these are actually from HQ Stories. This one here, Blackbird by N.D. Gomes, is something kind of creepy. I think it's about a girl who went missing. I think this is obviously a YA kind of mystery. I don't really know too much about it, but it does sound kind of creepy and spooky and stuff, and it seems to happen on New Year's Eve. So maybe I will read this around the same time. That would be good to do, I think. And the next book here I actually got a while ago, but I'm just deciding to show it now because the publishing date is coming up and I still haven't read this. It is White Bodies by Jane Robbins. This is coming out the 28th of December, so my plan is to read it before then so I can review it closer to the publishing date, because I did get this about 2 months ago, I think, and I thought it was a little bit too far off to read it, considering I did have a physical copy of it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It has red pages, which is cool, and I'm looking forward to reading this. I've seen a little bit of buzz about this over the last week or so, so I am looking forward to reading this now. And the last book I got from my lovely brother, who got it for me for my birthday this weekend, and it is David Attenborough's Adventures of a Young Naturalist, the Zoo Quest Expeditions. And this is just a bit about David Attenborough's life and the things he did, I think, before, you know, Planet Earth and before he became very, very famous. It's set in 1954. So yeah, there's just, I love David Attenborough, so who doesn't love that David Attenborough? So this just sounds pretty good. My brother asked me what book I would like for my birthday, and I told him this one, and he followed through. So thank you, Keen, for my lovely birthday present. So yeah, those are all the books I got. I did not attempt to hold all these up for the thumbnail, by the way. I only held up a selection. But please let me know if you've read any of these, if you want to read them. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!